Hey, what is up guys? Next here. We are here at Fantastic Gymnastics with Sam Armstrong, and today we're going to be talking about parkour and its mind-body connection. So when did you get into parkour?
I got into parkour in 7th grade, so that would have been 7.5 years ago.
7.5 years ago.
Yeah.
So what made you want to go into parkour?
I was always athletic, but never good at traditional sports, except for climbing and stuff. So one day I was running around the playground and a friend told me, "Oh, you're doing parkour." So I looked it up, watched some videos, and then I discovered Winnipeg Parkour. Back in the day, there was a really strong, solid website with all kinds of posts, great info.
Yeah.
Found out about a gym at the U of M, started going there, here I am.
That's crazy how that works. Like you have everyone who's into all these unique, non-traditional sports, they all start off kind of like in like soccer and hockey and all these traditional sports, and they just feel like there's no place for them. Like I started off playing like club soccer and I hated it, and I hated sports and I didn't do anything until high school, and then I realized there's sports for fat people.
Yeah.
And that was my connection.
Wow.
And I took off that way, so it's cool how that works. So why do you like doing parkour itself? Like when you're in the zone, when you're jumping and flipping off bars or whatever, what is going through your head? Like do you feel like you're at peace? Is it adrenaline? Does it take you away from the world kind of thing?
I guess there's peace, and there's like definitely an element of just like going out and getting exercise, which I always like, especially now, not so much when I was a kid, but now is really important to me to just like making sure I'm staying fit.
Yeah.
But the great thing I like about parkour is that every single thing you do is pretty much going to be different from the next thing you do. So every individual thing is its own challenge.
Yeah.
And it's just so, if you're going out and training parkour, you're conquering like 10 different little challenges.
Yeah.
And you have to just think about each little challenge completely differently. So I think that's why I like it.
So every time you're done a parkour session, you've conquered a list of
Exactly.
goals.
There's a lot of really small successes.
Oh yeah.
And then you can just keep building on. There's a huge repertoire of different things you can do. You can see, because there's so many different things, it's easy to see your progression.
Yeah.
Because if you're plateauing on one thing, you can go and work on something else, and then go back to that when it's a better day, or you're just feeling stronger, or you have gotten stronger from doing something else.
Yeah, that's awesome. Do you have like any long-term goals in parkour? Like some people, when they deadlift, they want to reach a certain deadlift, or when they're running, they want to hit a certain mileage or whatever. Do you have any kind of goals like that you want to hit personally?
Well, usually I have goals set. Like there's always a list of tricks, so I'm always trying to get a new set of flips. Like I think I've really progressed in 2 flips this year.
Yeah.
On the other side though, what I practice more is like, big powerful jumps and technique.
Yeah.
So there's there's technical things that I'm working on. Maybe as a overall goal for parkour is to just keep improving more than anything.
That's always the best goal. Like you have to do all the fine motor skills, right? The little things, and then you put it all together towards like the complete trick, but you learn the trick in pieces.
Yeah, definitely.
Something like that?
Yeah. That's definitely true for flips, but you can't just go and learn a different flip every day. Doing flips is a lot different than doing parkour, because usually once you've learned how to do one flip, you can apply it to most situations.
Yeah.
Whereas a jump can just take so many different forms depending on the situation.
Yeah, that's why I'm so fascinated by parkour, because I can't do any of this stuff, and it's so like you just see a bunch of bars and there's so much you can do with it. There's so much to work with, and you really need to be there, I think, mentally. Like myself personally, like I know that I'm a big guy and I have a lot of weights, so that immediately takes a shot at my confidence as to whether or not I can make a jump or make a leap. So do you find you have that mind-body connection is always firing when you're doing your moves?
Yeah, definitely. That's something that really comes with time. That's maybe one of my favorite things about it, is being able to gauge something and just say whether or not you can do it. And that's even if you're practicing with a lot of people, is something that's like pretty highly respected, is being able to like just see that you can do something and then do it.
Yeah, there's strength up there, like strongman strength or lifting strength. That's what people traditionally think of when they think strength. But I mean, there's no truer strength than your own body weight and what you can do with it. Yeah. Like you can be as strong as you want and push as much weight off the ground as you can. But if you were dangling from a ledge off a branch, would you be able to even pull yourself up? That's one thing that I'm even working on right now.
The limiting factor is often what you're afraid of, and not necessarily things like jumps. Usually the limiting factor is going to be your strength. But if something is at all scary and you can physically do it, that's something you're really striving to eliminate in parkour, is that fear. and being able to do what you physically are capable of doing with your body.
Do you find that you use your fear to push you to do certain things, like the things that you're really afraid of, or the things that you know you should go for?
It used to more, I think. Now I'm becoming more rational with my fear. If I'm really afraid of something, I'll think about more why I'm afraid of it versus just like egging myself on. Not that I ever used to get hurt a lot, but I definitely used to get hurt more when I was younger. And now, even though I feel like I've progressed more in the past few years, I've definitely hurt myself less just because I've been more smart about my fear.
So when you get hurt, like have you gotten hurt a lot doing parkour?
Not really. The biggest thing is this, and that wasn't even really
It's a crazy scar.
parkour. That was a result of climbing a fence after a long day of doing parkour, and the fence broke. Usually when you get hurt in parkour, it's fairly unavoidable. Like it's a small screw up that ends up like you might bruise your heel. Bruised heels have happened a couple times, or I banged my shin. Apart from that, it doesn't happen.
So like, you really got to be welcome to it. You really got to be open to the possibility of getting hurt, because it's all can be part of the learning, right?
If you're really pushing yourself, I see young kids getting hurt a lot, and I see people who train a lot getting hurt. In a lot of other sports, injuries come from pulling a tendon or something happens just due to long-term use. And I don't know anyone who's ever injured like their a tendon or anything just from prolonged use doing parkour, which is something I like, because it means that as long as you're being careful not to fall off a building, you can continue to practice for a long time without any like injuries.
There's no long-term health risks or anything.
Which sounds kind of funny to say, but
well, like I see you jump from one building to another, and I'm like, if he misses, he's gonna die.
I mean,
but
that's a health risk.
But minor health risk. So how often do you train for this? Like how committed do you have to be?
So right now, because it's winter, I've been doing most of my training in here, and on the weekends, if it's nice out, I've been trying to do a bit of training on Saturday and Sunday. But I've been here 4 days a week, 2 of those days coaching, and then I try to do a workout every day.
So what keeps you motivated? What keeps you wanting to keep come back? Is it just like a hobby, you're just used to it at this point, or is there what motivates you to keep doing parkour?
Yeah, I guess I just feel like I'm pretty like into it at this point. So it's so deep in that if I stop and I start to get worse, that would just really suck. But I mean, it's also fun. It's like after a long day of work to come here, see my friends, do some flips. Like there's no other real way that I derive pleasure in the same sense. Like I'll just feel bad if I don't go training because I won't be progressing.
It's just a part of your life now. And becoming who you want to be. That's awesome. Well, I think that wraps up the questions we're going to do for today. Thank you, Sam, for your time, and hopefully we'll see from him again in the future. Class next out.